a 15-year member of the Providence Police Department, died while responding to a call to help his fellow officers. Our thoughts and prayers go up during this difficult time to Sergeant Taveras' entire family, including his brothers and sisters on the Providence Police Force. Also last week, Nicole Stanton, daughter of former Mayor Stanton, passed away. Nicole was a young woman who constantly worked to help others. Our thoughts and prayers go up during this difficult time to Nicole's children, Nicole's mother Sheila, and former Mayor Stanton. In their memory, please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. To my neighbors from across Providence, tonight we come together to reflect on what we have done in the past year and to look forward to the upcoming year. We look ahead with a careful eye on the challenges we face today. From those challenges which have tested our city and our state, I do believe we can find opportunity if everyone works together and shares in the sacrifice of saving our city. We have faced many challenges in the last 15 months. Together, making tough choices, we have made progress towards sustainable structural reform. And I believe that progress will begin more progress, and that we are beginning to see tangible forward motion. The structural reforms we must continue to push will put immediate fiscal threats in our rear view and position Providence to make progress toward the ambitious goals we have set for the city. Goals to foster an economic climate that is welcoming to entrepreneurs and businesses so that we can create jobs and get people back to work. Goals to improve education so all students have access to a world-class education. And goals to improve public safety so all of our neighbors feel safe in each and every community in our city. The work ahead of us will not be easy. Progress never is. And we may not see the results needed, but the budget I present to you offers a balanced, comprehensive approach that guides Providence through the immediate fiscal crisis and positions our great city to compete with other cities and other states in the new economy. Mr. President, I present to you a $638.4 million budget that holds the line on city spending. You will see a total increase in city expenses of $4.8 million. But that includes $7.7 million that we have committed to rebuild our rainy day fund. Our city spending is actually lower than last year. My proposed budget protects our priorities with level funding for vital city services, continue to support community centers, libraries, and public safety. Through the accelerated funding formula proposed by the governor, we calculated states including our budget increases by $19.7 million. President Trump, Leader Urian, members of the City Council, the budget I present today listens to the future responsibly and includes structural and sustainable fiscal solutions that put Providence on a path to progress. Still, before we can look to the future, we must understand and take note of how far we have come. 2 months ago, in this 18 I stood before you and told you one the Providence was in health. 13 months ago, I told you we were facing a category 5 fiscal hurricane. Together, through the partnership we have established on the second and third floors of this historic building, through forward-looking partnerships with labor, with city employees, with community and business leaders, we made substantial progress. Together, we took on the difficult work to eliminate a $110 million structural deficit. And today, we have cut that $110 million deficit by nearly $90 million. With transparent leadership, we brought our laborers, our police, our firefighters, and our teachers back to the table and renegotiated contracts, saving the city millions. Through honest conversations, we engaged our neighbors and asked them to be a part of the sacrifice too. Because I believe in leadership by example, I cut my own pay 10%, cut my office budget by 10%, and along We reduced our workforce by 200 workers. We asked everyone to do more with less. Actually, we asked them to do better with less. Even with all the cost cutting over last year, we still imposed a significant tax increase on our taxpayers. We have made progress because many have sacrificed. But despite the progress we have made, we still face a challenge in the current fiscal year. We must close a $22.5 million budget gap before the end of June. It has become abundantly clear that in order to restore structural balance to our budget, we need our tax exempts to be part of the solution, and we must reform our pensions. We need to address these issues to pass the immediate crisis, but also to save the system for our retirees and our current employees. I commend you, Mr. President, for establishing the City Council Subcommittee on Pension Sustainability. And I applaud Chairman Salvatore's leadership in the hard work of all the council members on this subcommittee. The recommendations released last week, what I'm calling the Providence Pension Protection Plan, are comprehensive and provide a roadmap for pension reform in our city. My budget depends on this council passing comprehensive, sustainable, and structural pension reform. I urge immediate consideration and action on the Providence Pension Protection Plan. I urge you to act now. If we do not pass pension reform, Providence will fall into a black hole, and we will all guarantee that we will lose our grip on the future. Let me be clear. My budget assumes full savings from the Providence Pension Protection Plan, including millions from suspending guaranteed annual raises, COLAs, for our retirees. Rarely in government do we have two cut and dry choices. This is one of those rare times. We can choose to act and position Providence to be the next great American comeback story. We can act and have people look to our skyline rivers as a model for reform and revitalization, as they did in Chicago in the 1980s, New York in the 1990s, Baltimore in the early 2000s, and Pittsburgh today. We can set Providence on a sustainable path that will ensure we keep our children a stronger, more vibrant city, and we can scare our neighbors from additional taxes. Or, we can do nothing and cling to the unreasonable hope that this will resolve itself, and watch the city resolve fall into a black hole and make negative national headlines because of our plight. I choose to act. I choose to make meaningful, comprehensive, necessary reforms. I choose to spare your neighbors' mind the burden of unsustainable and unfair tax increases. We have engaged some of our retirees in negotiations. But because of the fact that no one entity represents retirees, any type of collective settlement is much more difficult. Mr. President, members of the Council, I stand strong with community leaders, business leaders, and city workers to call on you to pass the Providence Pension Protection Plan and position our capital city for the future. Especially during these difficult times, we need to commit ourselves to make sure that we prepare our children to compete in the new economy. Last year, we increased taxes a total of approximately 10% on the average home for the year. There was an increase that added to the already heavy burden that our taxpayers were carrying. Our commercial property tax owners saw the tax increase as well. To make things worse, far too many of our residents are still struggling to find employment and to pay their bills. However, because of the choices we made together last year, we grew our tax base during the past 12 months. The ordinance that Councilman Taveras sponsored and this council passed, requiring homeowners to reapply for the homestead exemption, has helped the city properly classify property. That ordinance helped make sure that only those who actually live in their home and have vehicles registered in Providence can claim the 50% owner-occupied homestead exemption. As a result of this ordinance, we have fewer homes which qualify for the owner-occupied homestead exemption. In addition, we have seen an increase in the number of vehicles registered in Providence. Because of these reforms and other factors, we expect to collect an additional $6 million in fiscal year 13. We also expect a modest increase in revenues from tangible taxes. Due to the expansion of our tax base, the city can expect an additional $4.8 million in total tax revenue in the next fiscal year. Because of this expected increase in tax revenue, my budget does not raise tax rates or call for new taxes. Especially when so many are struggling to find a job. The budget is a result of the tough choices we have made to move Providence forward. Because of the expansion of our tax base, we can expect to collect $435 million in tax revenue fees. That is an increase of almost $5 million, or 1.12% over 2012. In addition, the budget anticipates $197 million in state and federal aid for Providence public schools, an increase of nearly $20 million in support of our school. Our tough choices and shared sacrifice have also resulted in reduced spending on the city side. The budget calls on us to spend slightly over $310 million on the city side, an increase of almost $5 million, or 1.58% from 2012. However, we're putting $7.7 million away to build our revenue fund. Taking that into account, we are actually spending less in fiscal year 13 than we did in fiscal year 12. The city will level fund education by investing almost $125 million in our schools. The rest of our school budget will be funded by the state education that we receive, including the accelerated implementation of the school funding formula, which the governor has included in his budget. Our budget is a way forward. It is an opportunity to begin the work to move the city forward, and that work starts with the next generation. Education is the most important economic development investment we can make, and because of Governor Cheney's and the General Assembly's leadership, we are in a position to increase funding for education, funding that will support teachers and students and give parents more choices. But with that additional funding, we must set higher standards. We must demand more from everyone, our students, our parents, our teachers, and our administrators. Our schools cannot do it alone. Education requires the entire community to get involved. In the coming weeks, as I work with the council to pass this budget, I will unveil my plans to ensure all Providence students are reading on grade level by 3rd grade. Than any other time. We are educating our children to prepare them for the new economy. But the truth is, the most important job we can create is the next one. We must make it easier and more attractive to do business in Providence. I've heard that from the business community. I've heard that from our neighbors. And it is why my fiscal year 13 budget avoids increase in additional taxes. We must show potential investors that they can move to Providence and expect stability. We must also show potential employers, our future leaders, that Providence is a great place to raise a family and contribute to the community. Good jobs are created in safe cities. As we navigate through these difficult times, we must do everything possible to maintain an environment in which people are safe in all of our neighborhoods. To do that, we have maintained our investment in public safety. For public safety must include community partnerships and community engagement. That is why this budget also protects our commitment to our community centers, our recreation centers, and our libraries. The more young people that we engage in our community programs, the more we can do to prevent crime. In the weeks and months since Providence was blocked in its effort to to realize millions in savings by moving retirees 65 and older onto Medicare. We have received national attention about the possibility that our city should go back. Yet tonight I present to you a balanced budget for next year that begins to rebuild Providence's rainy day fund and grows the city's tax base without raising taxes on homeowners, power, and businesses. This is only possible because of the painful, difficult decisions we have made in the past year and the significant accomplishments we have already achieved to close Providence's structural budget deficit. Such progress is a result of the sacrifices that so many have made to save our capital city. And because of the structural plans we made in our contract, we can see tangible savings in this budget and future budgets. And we can also identify a path through this current fiscal year. With the reforms we have made, the reforms I urge you to act upon, we can manage our cash flow through the end of 2020. Indeed, this budget represents progress for our city of Providence. It shows our city successfully pulling back from the brink of the position for a new era of growth and prosperity. But let me be clear, this budget counts on our ability to finish the difficult work of structural reform. It once again relies on increased support from all Providence's large tax institutions. And it rests on the conviction that Providence must finally fix its broken pension system in the days and weeks ahead. As I said 2 months ago, there is hope. Time and again throughout America's history, we have seen opportunities arise out of challenges, and we know that the brightest days are born from the darkest nights. I see great things in our future. I can see the path of progress, but we must choose that path. We must open that path. We must be mindful of where we want that path to go. Mr. President, leaders, I urge you in the Congress, pass this budget, pass pension reform. Let's continue to work with our partners in the State House to help us with the tax exemption. I urge you to continue to stand with me and stand behind the balanced approach I have presented in the fiscal year 2013 budget. Because if we do, I'm wholly confident that we will see Providence and move our city forward to new heights. Thank you.